Welcome to the Southwest Experience. Today, we're gonna see what the Sunset Crater is all about. We also take a closer look at the Bear Park, Arizona. And Hotel La Posada is going to take you back in the 1930s. Out of Africa is fun for everyone. This is Southwest Experience.
Hi and welcome to the Southwest Experience. Today we're going to visit the beautiful northern part of Arizona. I am Eppo Zegers.
And I am Kimberly de Bruyne.
Coming up, we'll visit Sunset Crater and the Lava River Cave. Also, we'll show you a nice place to stay while visiting Arizona.
And that's not all. We'll visit two beautiful animal wildlife parks in northern Arizona, which will help make your Southwest experience complete. Thanks for joining us.
The area around Flagstaff is a former volcano field, but it hasn't been active for quite some time, and scientists say that the volcano will remain dormant for many years. This old volcano field makes an attractive national park called Sunset Crater National Monument. So Naomi, where can we find this volcano?
Well, Eppo, Sunset Crater is located just outside of Flagstaff. The area is a perfect place to hike because of its beautiful environment and the opportunity to get close to an actual volcano. Just on the other side of Flagstaff is the Lava River Cave, a natural monument in pristine condition. Reporter Micah tells us more about these volcanic sites.
A volcano in the middle of Arizona. It may sound weird, but it was quite normal for the people who lived here 1,000 years ago. All that's left are the remains, but there's still loads to see. So today we're going to take a look at what's out here. Welcome to Sunset Crater.
Nowadays you can visit the foot of Sunset Crater. It's a great place to visit when you want to experience the history of this area. This area was a dangerous place because of its volcanic activity. But geology expert Dr. David Best says that it's now safe to hike all you want.
Sunset Crater last erupted in, it's not an exact year, it was maybe about 1080 to 1100 AD, so about, 900 to almost 1,000 years ago is the last time it erupted. But the area is not termed active. It's sort of sleeping, but there's no indication it's going to erupt or become active again in the near future.
If you like hiking, the volcano crater is a perfect place to do it.
This trail is about a mile long and shows you what the effects are when lava reaches the surface and travels over ground. The hike takes up to 30 minutes and consists of two parts. The first quarter mile is paved and is easily accessible for less experienced hikers. The second part of the trail is the steepest section of the two and is therefore aimed at the more experienced hikers.
Now we have seen the effects of volcanoes above the ground, let's take a ride and see what it does below the surface. Not all museums are in a building. The Lava River Cave is a natural museum just outside of Flagstaff. Let's sign ourselves up in case we go missing.
Everyone that wants to hike has to sign in at the start of the trail. This is because there are no checkpoints in the caves. It is also for your own safety. The list will be checked once a day so they see who went into the cave. And just a tip, do not go in alone. Always make sure that you have a partner with you in case of an emergency. The Lava River Cave is a great spot to have an adventurous day, also with kids. You can discover a new place underground and practice your rock climbing skills. But be aware, the Lava River Cave is a natural monument, hardly disturbed by humans. The 2-mile walk can be tough for some people, especially with its slippery slopes.
Before you get in, make sure you got warm clothes and a flashlight.
As I said before, the Lava River Caves can be a quite cold place. Temperatures drop down to an almost freezing 35 degrees at the start of the cave. Because it was cold in here, the original inhabitants of this area used it as a place to cool down during work and store their perishable foods and drinks.
You can climb all the way down here. It's a really beautiful place, but watch out for the bats in the dark. This is From the NHV for NAU, Maaike van Vuren.
Also located near Flagstaff is the wildlife park Bearizona. Don't let the name fool you. It contains more than just bears. The park is located directly next to Route 66, which makes it hard to miss. Visiting Bearizona is our very own Lotte Smits.
Welcome to Bearizona Park, which is located here in Williams and is only 1 year old. Bearizona Drive-Through and Walk-Through Park gives you the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see wild animals up close. Let's waste no more time and take a look at the animals. Besides bears, several other animals like bisons, Dall sheep and wolves are also living in the park. The walk-through host of the park, Bob Hurlbut, says the animals are taken care of in such a way that for them it seems like they're in the wild.
We do a lot of activities with the animals that we call enrichment, that are activities to keep the animal feeling like they're in the wild. For example, with the bears, we will change the feeding times, the type of food, and the locations so that the bears, when they wake up in the morning, just like in the wild, they don't know what they're going to find to eat in the wild. They don't know for sure what's coming here either, and that helps keep them engaged mentally, keeps them from getting bored, and it makes it so you see a more authentic group of bears as you drive through doing the kind of foraging that they do naturally.
We are now standing in front of the black bear cub's habitat. Their trainers, Alicia and Bridget, will give us more information about the little bears. Do the bears ever wound each other while playing?
They don't. Their hide is extremely thick, so their teeth are sharp and their jaws are really strong. So if they bite us, even though they're playing, it will pierce the skin. But their hide is so thick that they'll wrestle and play, and it won't hurt them.
Right now, we're just working with them to make sure that they don't jump on us. Is mainly what we do. We don't really do a lot of training with them since they're still so young, and they are very highly food motivated. So it is very easy to work with them and to get them to follow us. But right now it's more of just trying to get them to not jump on us. That's the most training and handling we do with them.
Research proves that a connection to nature is necessary for healthy development of children and adults. Operations Assistant Jocelyn Fisher tells that the vision of connecting nature to people proves this is one of the major goals of the park.
You know, our mission here at the park, we really have an educational viewpoint. We want to connect visitors to the land and the animals, and being able to do that is very fulfilling for our owners, and we just hope that we're a vehicle to connect those visitors to the land and its natural inhabitants. We use best practices for economic, environmental, and social sustainability here.
Bearizona is very interesting and attractive because of its great variety of animals and its close bond with nature. From NHTV for NAU, this is Lotte Smits.
If you can't get enough of Bearizona, do go to the park's website, www.bearizona.com, which holds more information.
Besides nature and wildlife parks, Arizona also offers authentic towns with great historic value. You have the historic towns like Sedona and Camp Verde, but there are also many western towns left in their original state. One of these towns is Winslow, and it has had some rough years.
Indeed, Winslow suffered a loss of business and commerce when it was passed by I-40 in the late 70s, when I-40 replaced Route 66. However, its popularity was restored with a famous song. At that same time, a very famous hotel, the La Posada, found new life too. To find out about La Posada and what makes it so attractive to tourists, I went there myself. Well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, and such a fine sight to see. Probably most of you know this small town in the southwest because of the Eagles song, Take It Easy. Besides the Eagles song, Winslow is most known for La Posada, which literally means the resting place. This hotel and restaurant, that looks like a huge old ranch, was built in 1927 by Fred Harvey, and designed by one of the greatest female architects, Mary Elizabeth Jane Coulter. Alan Effeld, his artist wife Tina Mian, and Dan Lutzig purchased La Posada in 1994 after learning that the property was in danger of being torn down. One of the three owners, Dan Lutzig, says,
"Our purchase price for this building from the railroad it wasn't even $1. They paid us to take the building. They paid us $250,000 to take this building. That was the agreement. We had to come up with a grant to match that, but it was for free." For the project, Alan Effeld had a great interest in sustainable design, and Coulter was a pioneer in sustainable design. We're in a room that has passive solar going on. It's an orangery and has natural ventilation shafts going to a wind tower in the center of the building. That's 50 years before the term sustainable design was ever coined. She was doing that. So, you know, Alan could see that. Tina Mion, that's his wife, she's an oil painter, and she maintains a large studio on the site. You know, she could see all these wonderful wall spaces, and this was designed to be like a house. And it was supposed to have people's artwork up in it, not corporate, you know, photographs, not commercial pieces. And as it turns out, I'm a sculptor, so I'm in the same boat. I have all sorts of places that I can display my art, and I have 70, what was it? I think it's about 65,000 square feet of public space in this building. Just an enormous amount of public space for 47 guest rooms.
Primarily, La Posada was built to house train passengers and to handle Santa Fe's dining stations, making Winslow a meal stop #1. La Posada's hotel had many famous guests over the years. Among these guests were Albert Einstein and the presidents Harry Truman and Franklin Roosevelt.
We've brought it back very much as it was back in 1930, and there are very few historic hotels that are able to do that. So when you come into the building, you'll see the owner's dogs running around. You'll see art throughout the building. You'll see antiques and historic furnishings and interpretive displays. And all of those bring people into the story of the history of the building, and they make our customers feel very much like they're staying in someone's home. It doesn't feel like a corporate sort of commercial hotel.
La Posada's Turquoise restaurant is one of Arizona's unique restaurants, providing a mesmerizing interpretation of Arizona food, such as roast prime rib, grilled steaks, and our famous killer vegetable platter. The La Posada has 47 guest rooms. Let's take a look inside. Well, the beds are certainly comfy. And the chair as well.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of La Posada, because I did.
For NAU, this is Kimberly de Bruyne.
Well, that looked nice.
Thanks.
Did you spend the night there?
No, unfortunately I had to get back.
Did you happen to see any lions while you were there?
No, there weren't any lions.
Perhaps tigers?
No, of course there weren't any tigers.
How about a rhino?
No, we're not talking about Africa. All those animals don't live here in Arizona.
Well, actually they do. I saw all those animals in their natural habitats and I never left Arizona. It might be hard to believe, but we're not in Africa. We are still in Arizona in the Out of Africa Wildlife Park, where you can see over 400 different kind of animals from all over the world. Well, let's have a look inside. The Out of Africa Wildlife Park started as a research project to see what would happen when exotic animals were placed in their own natural settings but taken care of by humans. What started as an experiment turned into a 100-acre nature preservation that allows visitors to interact with exotic animals from all around the globe.
What's unique about Out of Africa? Well, first of all, the way we have the animals housed. They're in habitats, not in cages. They're free to roam in a very natural environment, which makes it more conducive to being in the wild. Now, of course, there are fences around them, but there's plenty of room for the animals. They have plenty of food, water, and shelter. But that's one of the unique things. Another unique thing about the park is we have animals from all over the world. We have animals, obviously tigers. We have 3 types of tigers. Now, tigers are from Siberia, or China, or India. The tigers from India are called Bengals. And did you know that only white tigers can be Bengals? And we have 4 of them. And we have tigers and tiger splash, so you get to see them in action. So that's one of the many unique things about Out of Africa. But it's set up in a way for taking pictures in a very, very natural setting. And the animals are not walking on any cement or any kind. The habitats are very, very natural for them to be comfortable on. So that's one of the unique things about Out of Africa. But remember, we may be and you may be entertained, but the animals are always getting something from that. In Tiger Splash, therapy and exercise. In the demonstrations, like in the Great Snake Show that we have, we tell you all about snakes. You leave the park learning more about animals and absorbing information that you may not have already known. There are names of animals here that you may have never heard of before. And on the safari, they introduce you to those animals. So rather than leave you on your own, you always have someone here to take you on the tours and to introduce you to the animals and tell you about them.
Park coordinator El Reteno has built up a special bond with all the animals in the park, but especially with the white rhino called Boom Boom.
Talking about Boom Boom is one of my favorite subjects. Boom Boom is a very unique animal. He's a rare white rhino that was rescued. Being rescued is very important and one of the reasons we're here. How he got rescued is very unique. He was being sold and the people that were trying to buy him were trophy hunters. Now they take animals and pretend they're hunting and shoot them. Well, a young man named Mark Echo found out about this and he bought Boom Boom and brought him to us to keep him from falling into those hands.
If you want to experience this beautiful park with all its amazing animals yourself, be sure to bring your camera because beautiful pictures are guaranteed. For the NAU, this is Eppo Zegers. So, be sure to visit these wonderful places to make your Southwest experience complete.
We hope you now have more information on what Northern Arizona has to offer. Thanks for joining us and we hope to see you sometime here in the Southwest for a great Southwest experience.